All right, call the meeting to order. Please join me for the pledge allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, in the absence of the district clerk, we need to declare a clerk pro tem, Meg Hungerford. Do we have a motion to accept that?
I'd move it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approval of the minutes from November 2nd. If there are no questions or concerns, do we have a motion to accept them as submitted?
I will make that motion.
Second?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approval of the CSC CPSC recommendations. Do we have a motion to accept that report as submitted? Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I don't believe we have public comment. Discussion items. The curriculum committee meeting is scheduled for Monday, November 29th at 4:15 in the boardroom. And then the policy committee members, if you can let the district clerk please know what days are available for you and the start time, 5 or 5:30, so they can get that on the calendar. Unless you want to.
They're all good with me. Actually, we got that December 1st and 2nd for sports, right? That's coming up, isn't it?
22nd, 23rd works for me.
5 or 5:30.
Don't matter.
5:30.
Okay. Which day?
Either one's fine with me.
Same.
You call it, Kevin.
Because Mondays are Monday.
Yeah.
The 23rd?
Okay.
23rd at 5:30.
We can do 5 if that works for you guys. I can get home earlier that night.
Okay.
So,
November 23rd at 5?
5 bells.
Yeah.
Right.
Alrighty. Perfect.
That's not great.
I don't believe there are correspondence or additions to the agenda, correct? Okay. We have the consent agenda. We have the financial reports, the transfer of funds, the declared surplus, and the athletic recommendations. Are there any comments, concerns, questions on any of that? If not, do we have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And new business, we have several generous donations. $800 from the Sydney Center Family and Friends Church Tractor Parade Committee to the Walton FFA chapter for the 2021 Tractor Parade. Do we have a date on that yet, or not yet?
I don't think so.
That's going to be me. I'm gonna
Yeah, be nice to have
happy
it
to
back.
see that, yeah. $1,000 from the Grace Holmes Trust to the Clarence Denton Award in Agriculture. $268.75 from the United Presbyterian Church of Walton Peace Offering to the Townsend Elementary School Anti-Bullying Program. Face mask, vinyl gloves, and hand sanitizer from Ace Hardware to the Walton Central School District. School supplies and water bottles from the Wayne Bank to Townsend Elementary School. And $100 from Carl and Janet Gregory to the FFA in memory of Donald Schofield Jr. Do we have a motion to accept those donations?
I make the motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next, we have the tax collector's report from the 2021. You'll notice that this is broke down by township with the amount of the warrant for each township that the school district collects. If there's no questions on that, do we have a motion to accept the tax collector's reports? And then we would have to sign them.
I'll move. Go ahead.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And next we have authorization for pre-referendum service proposals, and this is for BCA to look at the middle high school library space and to create a 21st century learning environment.
Just a question on that.
Sure.
So they're doing two different proposals. One's keeping the existing footprint and working within those parameters, and the second one is totally re-envisioning it.
The second one is taking out the walls of where the clothes closet is and expanding the entire footprint. We're keeping the office run down the left because we have plans for those three areas, student-led plans. So we're looking at how we're going to redesign what we're going to do in those spaces, and then the rest will be a footprint.
And administrators are going to drive that input to BCA, and then they're going to come up with the concepts based on
Already have.
Yeah, so they're going to feed that process to them.
Correct. And it's not, what we're getting from them right now is not a blueprint design, it's a workup.
Okay.
A markup of what it is. Art's already been having conversations, Mr. Lewis has with teachers and students. We'll continue that conversation, expand it after we see this design more, and we'll get feedback from all the different areas. If nothing else, we end up with a whole new furniture design and maybe different paint, different things, and layout of the bookshelves and all that to get more of a collaborative, comfortable environment in there. That's a win in itself. It's just antiquated. So
Good.
We'll see what happens. This is something I was hearing from Mr. Loomis about a month after I got here when we first started talking about the high school. This is the one area that he really had a vision to try to address, and it just so happens we have the ability to do it, so we're excited.
I was just interested in that piece of how we're funneling information to them.
Yep.
Right.
Good.
Yeah, we had a meeting, they came on site, Bill did from BCA, and all of us, right? All three of us met with them, went down into space, had discussions, and then I had another meeting with BCA to make sure they understood exactly what we were looking for, from the minimal side to the largest side, and not to blow it out into a new wing. Like, no offense, somebody's an architect in this room, but architects like to try to expand things. That's how they make their money. To stay in our scope, this is what we're paying you to do, so that's what they're doing for us. Good.
And that's an amount of $5,000.
Correct.
When's the last time that's ever had anything done with it?
Other than moving stuff around and shifting stuff around
Right.
that's in there, not in my
Because
time.
it's the same,
Adam, when
it
you were in
looks the same
school,
as when I was
everything,
there.
everything.
They got a new desk, circulation desk since I've been in school.
All right, and everybody, so
Yeah.
we can keep going back in time.
Mr. Bedine?
Yeah, I think I saw AB at the table.
That's one of the places I was suspended from.
all right,
Yeah.
so do we have a motion?
I would move that.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next, we have a personnel appointment, Celestine Rice as a teacher aide. Do we have a motion to accept that appointment?
I'll move that.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And 9 is the policy updates. These are policies for you to review at your convenience. And then also we have there was policy corrections. And I don't know if you have that, Paul, but going down through them, they're mainly identifying the change of director and curriculum to put it, I believe, just
Titles, yeah.
that title
Yep.
instead of names. And so I missed one, didn't I? No, we don't have to
Nope.
on that. That's it. We are up to administrative remarks. Wait, the policy correction, I would think you would, yes, I'm sorry. So with those corrections that are listed, delete in the director of curriculum, health advisory, pursuit wellness, and then the change in informational guide free and reduced price meals. Do we have a motion to accept those corrections?
I'll move it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. There you go, Nate. I don't think we need it on just the review. All right. Now we're up to administrative remarks.
Any questions or comments on the principals?
Thank you.
How close are we to getting shut down?
Well, we have not, honestly, DOH has been very, very quiet on any of that. Rick and I talk about this almost daily. The positivity rate right now for the county and for our area is completely way above where last year at this time we would have already been. So what the difference is this year compared to last year, I don't know, but their threshold seems to be they're letting it ride, and it's gonna run its course, and as long as we follow direction and quarantine and minimize the level of exposure and the level of outbreak, they're letting it go. And they have not, we asked them about crowds for athletic contests. Nope, there's no restriction, there's no guidance on it. Just make sure everybody has masks on, minimize the amount of mask removal, and run your contests. So that's why all the athletic contests are going to be normal, except for the wrestling tournament. As we've discussed in the past, all the wrestling tournaments are going to have no fans for the big tournaments. Everything else will be normal. But for us, we'll stream both gyms, so all the matches will be there. But outside of that, there hasn't been any changes anywhere.
You mean like no Canadian Dome tournament over there?
We're not going to have any public,
Spectators.
any spectators. When
Okay.
you bring in 10 to 12 teams, it's kind of hard to bring that many people in. 16 teams and 16 people in there, that would be asking for it. So that's the one thing that we're not doing. Same thing, Oxford's doing the same
Yeah,
thing.
all the pretty much Section 4 wrestling tournaments were handled the same.
I'm just glad to get an opportunity to participate.
Right.
Yeah.
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 We'll take it.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
And
So
then-
far, no threats, no warnings. Now, we did yesterday, as I sent out the information, in case it, people take it and interpret it different ways. They try to figure out what we're actually thinking when we're actually thinking what we're doing. There's no hidden agendas. We're just preparing that if, for some reason, we were told you have to go remote, we need to be able to jump and feed the students at home that require the food. And I realized that we hadn't done that part. We hadn't done the survey, we hadn't got it up to date. So we did that, got a great response. I've got it, here with me. And now we'll be set. We have our inventory, we were ready with food, but we weren't ready with who actually wanted it. So we could get our bus routes and everything set for delivery. So we're in good shape now. Now, hopefully we'll never use it. The principals are, all three of you speak for yourself, all three of them are telling me they don't want it ever go remote. Everything we can to stay open.
I don't think the kids want that neither.
No.
It's
Nobody
too
does.
difficult.
Yep.
And to stay engaged too.
Yep.
Well, our limiting factor is staff, right? I mean,
Right now,
if we have
right.
staff positivity, that's really what's the challenge.
Correct. I mean, we had, one day last week, we had 19% of the elementary school that was out, that was not all COVID related. That was just total. That was 19%. Over here, it was less than 19%. It was still 75 students out. But as I said, in the beginning of the year, we had 97 students at the beginning of the year in quarantine at one point in time. But out of 97, that's out of 866 kids. So we still have 700 some kids to educate and to feed and to keep safe. So as much as we can keep these doors open, we're gonna do everything we can. If we end up with, and this is one of our plans, right, is if we end up with one-to-one devices, teachers teaching from home, and kids in large group areas being supervised by few adults,
Right.
because it's just flipping it, right? Flip classroom, it's just flipping the remote. We did it last year with, I think we had areas, we didn't do it in elementary, I don't think, last year, but we did it middle and high, where we had overflow rooms, where kids went one-to-one devices in an overflow room in the library and came in. So we're actually doing remote within house. And that's what we'll do. If we get the auditorium available, we can put an awful lot of kids in the auditorium and supervise them with 2 or 3 and have the teachers teaching from home. As
Right.
long as they're healthy and everybody's healthy enough to do it. So we'll see what happens, but that's our goal.
So don't let your guard down. Keep washing your hands.
Yes,
Cover your
yes,
sleeves.
follow the protocols, wash your hands. But they did expect this. If you
Right.
recall, I said it before, that DOH, as much as they criticize, this is exactly what they said would happen. When it started getting colder and people started getting inside, they expected a big spike. And that's exactly what we're seeing.
Yep.
Okay?
And as far as you know, on Monday from 6 to 8, the FFA is still planning on doing their open house?
Yep, that's still the plan. I haven't heard anything different, so.
Wonderful.
Anything further? Anybody else?
I don't think so.
No, reports are nice, thank you.
Yeah, they are nice.
Okay.
Nice to see.
And as you can see, the attendance in the elementary, other than I think we had the one dip there a little bit, but even there, it was almost 90%.
Yeah,
So
it's really good
it's going well.
still.
All right, so to me,
Yes.
couple things. One exciting thing, we had a meeting this morning, principals, nurses, nursing staff, Meg was involved with the Lord's dental van. I've talked about this in the past, that we were exploring it, and we've got the detail now. There's no cost to the district. We have to have electrical hookups, allow them to hook up, and work through the process with them. The way it works, they charge, as far as the financing side of it, they charge individuals insurances. Those students who do not have the ability to have insurance, they'll work with them to try to get insurance, or they'll work with them even with the financial difficulties. The bottom line is, with Lord's, they will not turn anybody away. All students will get served, and they deal with the financial aspect of it later. So it's a win-win.
So it's anybody that doesn't want to go to another
Any student.
dentist, any student can
Can sign up.
use this dental van.
Yep. They have two clinical sites in the van. I did attach the PDF printout, 2 board docs. If you want to see, that's exactly the presentation we received today with some Q&A. And they bring it in, and depending on what the schedule is, they do a spring and a fall, they figure, for Walton. Please correct me, anybody, if I speak out of turn with this. They'll set up, and they'll be there as long as the schedule permits for them, and then we have to do is just run, there's parameters that we have to meet, and they're in there as well, you see them, and they process it. So we're going to, I'm doing a spot check tonight. We don't need approval of it, but just a blessing from you. We're gonna move forward. I've got the contract already in the hands of Wendy to be reviewed, and we're gonna work toward getting this in place probably in the spring.
Nice.
Does that
Very
change
good.
anything we have going on with like UHS or anything, or?
Nothing. No, they don't, no one provides this service except for Lord's.
And how did that work with the students now? I know you said every student has the availability to it, but is it a
Yep.
volunteer, a student has to enroll, or family has, because we're talking
Parent has
medical
to enroll it.
insurance?
Yeah. So I don't know what the process will be with them, whether we'll survey and then send the information out to the parents of every survey, or whether we send it out to every single student. We'll work through, they've been doing this for years, so whatever they tell us the process. And then whoever turns back in the documentation, we just forward it to Lord's, and it's between Lord's and the family. They literally, when they are scheduled for a day, they provide us with a schedule of who needs to be seen when, and we just process it. And I think, Melanie, you said you've had experience with this, not Lord's, but a similar one?
Yeah, we had Prasad in my previous district I was in, and it's just flawless. They give you the list, you bring the kid out, comes back in and right back to class, so. And it's a
Nice.
great help for the kids,
Yep.
the parents really take advantage of it, so. I'm excited.
Yep.
That's good.
So we've been talking about this for the last couple of years, about wraparound services. So the mental health, the district started a few years ago, that's still continued. We're still working on getting some things in line for this year, I believe, right? Or is that set? For the mental health clinic, doing the final
So
paper.
our application's in, I think we're just waiting on their response.
So we'll have that back up and going. We have the virtual health center, still working through the legal document on that with UHS. We'll have that in place, and now we'll have the dental in place. And with the increased mental health services, of course, we have the social workers that we've added as well. So we're certainly taking a swing at it for our kids.
Good.
So hopefully we see the difference. So that, we'll move forward with that unless there's any objections or discussion needed. Okay. The sexual harassment training we talked about for the board. We have two options, and it really doesn't matter to me. If you want to put it off, you can put it off. It's whoever needs it, who doesn't have it at work. You can give me any certificates if you've had it at work. If not, the portal is open until the 15th of December. Then they're doing work and they're shifting to another portal. So unfortunately, it won't be available until like April. So if you'd like us to put this on the shelf until April, until the portal reopens, we can do that. Or if you want to get it done now, just tell us who to send it to, and we'll send it to you, and you can process it and be done.
Can you please send it to me?
Okay? Miranda, Al, Graydon,
Yeah, Mike,
good? Kevin,
Mike just as well.
Yeah.
okay? Dan, Paul,
Oh, sorry. I'll get
okay?
you the certificate.
Got it. All right, Paul has a certificate that he'll send.
We don't print off certificates at work, otherwise I have it.
No, it's not,
A
I just
sign-in
log in,
sheet?
it's a virtual
Do you have a
thing in
sign-in sheet, or you don't?
in my
I don't think
transcript,
so.
so.
Actually,
Have somebody send you
You should
an
have
email
one, Kevin.
indicating that you've done, you did
all you
training.
need is just
Just
sign
send
it.
it. Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt.
All right.
Send it.
It's actually not a bad, that wasn't that, I'm trying to remember how long it was.
Yeah.
How long?
An hour.
I'll get you.
Yes, I gave him a
Kevin's getting us a sheet.
And if I can't find it, I will.
That change your mind, Grady?
No,
Okay, we'll
I
send it to
definitely
Grady.
need it, so.
I know I took it at work, so I'll try to find my certificate.
If you
If
can't,
it
just
takes you
have
less than
your.
an hour to find it. you're in luck.
Yes, I'll be time ahead, right?
There you go.
Okay, and the final item, to discuss, actually, really to discuss and explain. As we've talked about, we've been working with the federal money, the CRRSA specifically, to identify one-time monies, especially in energy efficiencies, to where we can pull out of the capital project to make room in the capital project, because we know that budget's going to be tight, right? We've had these discussions, and especially facilities, we know. Meg, working with BCA and with CNS, has identified $180,000 worth of work that would fix the federal funding that can be done and taken out of the work of the capital project, giving us breathing room. So we can hopefully get to closer to 100% of our scope items. New York State Ed actually has a mechanism for this. We sign a document, they allow that federal $180,000 to be added to the capital project, so it still stays underneath one project scope of work, does not change the amount that was funded by the taxpayer, because this is federal money that's attached to it.
Yeah.
So with your blessing tonight, and I think we're probably, you don't need official board motion, but since we're discussing it, we could get official board motion in case you need it. It's up to you. But we can, if you approved, we'll get it signed up tonight, and we'll get it in the hopper, and that will help us when we talk about, we put stuff out of the norm to add back in at the end if we have space. This is gonna really give us an opportunity to get a good reach on that. Any questions on that?
The only one I have is, would that fit the guidelines of the new 24-hour advanced resolution being put out?
Well, we don't have to do official motion tonight.
Right.
So we can wait until, if they say we need official motion, then we can do it and process it through our normal processing. We can sign it and get it processed to the state tonight, but I did not want to do this without recording it and discussing it.
I just that's a new, that category coming up, a lot of time is that.
So we can wait on the resolution.
But I'm definitely in support of it. That
Okay.
would be a good use of funds.
No, but I think you're on spot there, Greg. Agree with doing it, but
Yep.
we
Yep.
may want to not do the official resolution on it tonight.
Especially when it's not needed yet, timeliness
Right.
wise. Absolutely.
All right.
So
Sounds
that's
good.
good. We'll sign that tonight. And other than that, we gotta make sure we sign the tax.
Yeah, don't leave without signing the
Documents
tax
and-
documents.
Can we just say a thank you to admin for sure?
Well, thank you to
because-
Meg.
Because
Yep.
honestly, when we set out with that capital project, we said we didn't want to shrink the to shrink the scope, and we didn't want to exceed the budget that was approved by the taxpayers. So,
Right.
you know, you're pulling everything to make that happen, so thank you, appreciate
And
it.
as we know, the roof work ended up being a little bit more
Yep.
extensive than we thought it was going to be.
Yep.
And so that squeezed the budget. So we knew we weren't going to get all the items that we hoped, and this hopefully will get us closer. So, and I applaud Ned working with CNS especially, and some BCA involved in there as well.
Great, thank you.
Yes.
I'm just gonna go back to Mr. Loomis's report and congratulate those students out there who did get inducted into our National Honor Society here in Walton. So
Yep.
I think that's a big deal, and they work hard for that, and you don't just get appointed, you have to do lots of work to do that. So congratulations to those students who were inducted a few weeks back.
Service,
Yes.
leadership, on top of the academics. And then we have 3 more students for the National Technical Honor Society, so a lot to be thankful for this week. That's all I have.
And that is tomorrow night.
It is tomorrow night.
Confirm the time and whether.
Yes,
it
I
can be in
believe it's
person or
6:30. At least that's what I had planned myself.
Okay.
6:30 is what I have on my calendar.
Okay.
Can we get a head count for that? For Mr. Loomis?
That's Monday night, and
It's-
that is the National Honor Society.
Not tomorrow
no,
night.
tomorrow night.
Technical at Harold Campus at BOCES. I'm attending, Mr. Loomis is attending.
I
Don't feel
will,
pressured by any means. We have 3 students who are being inducted.
I hope to attend, yes.
All right, so we'll RSVP just in case.
Yep.
All right, anybody else? And that's the only reason why we're asking is at the last minute, we think we have to RSVP.
I've got a meeting in Delhi tomorrow night, so
Okay,
unfortunately won't.
all right, so just Mrs.
And then Monday is the FFA open house.
Yep. That's all I got.
All right, and there's no need for an executive session, so do we have a motion to
I'll
adjourn?
make a motion.
Second,
Second. All in favor?
aye,
Opposed? Carried.
next Monday,
All right, so,
Monday. is
we're gonna have to
FFA.
squeeze names in here.